Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost to that time of the year where trades are going to take over the headlines. And already, Shams has reported that the Knicks, the Lakers, are among a group of teams interested in Ben Simmons. And you know that the New York Knicks fans are going crazy right now trying to figure out what is the best trade package for Ben Simmons. Ladies and gentlemen, let's break this down. I got Uncle Fulio, I got Tony Crow, and we're going to break this thing down. Tony Crow, what's popping with you, my brother? How you feeling?
Yes, sir. What's good, Sim? Shout out to the chat. Josh, what's good? Yo, Black is Town. Let's get it going.
Josh, what's good, brother?
Salute, Sam, Tony, MBK fam, Knicks fans out there. I just find it very, very amusing. Now, all of a sudden, people want to trade for Ben Simmons after I've been saying this for a long time. And I find it really funny that people want to trade Julius Randle now, all of a sudden. Everyone's so gung-ho for a trade after I've been the most aggressive person that wanted to make trades for a long time. But it's a long time coming. I'm glad you guys finally came around.
Now he's the guru. Now he's the guru, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically what he's trying to say. Now he's the guru. Let's take a look at this. Ben Simmons, this season right now, 21-22, he makes $33 million. He's not even playing. He's making $33 million. Next year, he makes $35.4 million. In 23-24, $37.8 million. Might as well say $37.9 million. And in 24-25, he makes $40 million. He averages for his career 16 points per game, 8.1 assists, and 7.7 assists. You might as well say 8 assists per game. So my first question, and I'm kind of undecided about this, so I want to get you guys' opinion. Is Ben Simmons worth this amount of money for the New York Knicks? That's my first question.
I think he is. I think it's it's an easy choice for me. You talk about a guy who is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year every year. You talk about a guy who, if you consider him a point guard, fits the position of need, but more importantly, the defensive side, guard at any position. I think if the right trade is constructed, I think we could be a much better version of who we were last year, and him filling in at that guard position, but still being an offensive threat, even though he, doesn't shoot the ball, which I do believe he would turn around. I don't think he continues that trend as far as not shooting the ball, at least attempting the shot. Where his percentage is, I don't know, but I think more what he has to do is take shots, not worry about the percentages. But I think that's still a value of a contract, in my opinion.
See, I have questions. I have a lot of questions on whether or not what he brings to this team changes them so much that he's going to be worth $40 million in 24-25. Now, 24-25 is a long time from now, so he can develop into a much better player than he is right now. Still, $33 million, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. And then, what do we have to give up to get him? We got to find a way to give up $33 million. And if you're trying to get Ben Simmons, you're not just going to throw Fournier in there. You're not going to throw Fournier and Kemba in there and think you're going to walk away with Ben Simmons, right? You got to give up some value. Where do you go? How do you get it done? It would probably need to be a 3-team trade to get that done, to make sure that you to make sure that you're still having a competitive team and you still have enough depth on your team to compete at the level that you're hoping that he would take you to, because it wouldn't, obviously he's going to help elevate your team, or you believe he's going to help elevate your team, but you still got to have some depth on the bench if you want to be competitive. Josh, talk to me.
Well, to answer your question directly, there's no question Ben Simmons is worth that amount of money. No question. Look around the NBA. Tell me how many players that are making that kind of money are not all-star players, are not all-star caliber, are not all NBA, are not all team defense. That's the reason why he's. But
that doesn't mean that those players are worth that money. Just because they're getting paid that money doesn't mean that they're worth that money. Those are two different things. You got players all the time that get paid all of these contracts off of 1 or 2 years of production, and they're not worth that money.
Try 5 years in regards to Ben Simmons. Okay. 5 years.
They're not worth that money.
And if I'm allowed to finish, 5 years of Ben Simmons. Also, he's elite defense. All elite defense. Just like Rudy Gobert's all elite defense. He makes more than Ben Simmons right now. And not to mention, people are knocking Ben Simmons for his lack of shot. I totally understand that. But he does so many other things on the floor. He is a complete difference maker on the floor, Sam. He is absolutely worth that money. And again, you may not think he's not worth it, but again, that's how contracts are negotiated in the NBA. They look at other players at that position for what they're doing at that position and what they're making, and that's the number that they came up with.
At what position? At what position?
At either the point guard position or the wing position. But I know Ben Simmons does a multitude of things at the point guard position, rebounding the basketball, assists. He probably is one of the top assist people in the game. And, at the point guard position, that's what I'm saying. At his position, for what he does on the floor, that's the reason why he's making that money. So there's no question he's worth that money. And in a league now where you have, hold on, Sam, and in a league now where you have 2 to 3 players on almost every roster, at least competitive teams, right? The teams that are championship contenders that are making over $30 million. This is a no-brainer. No-brainer. He's absolutely worth that money. No question about that.
And see, I'm one that believes his salary was born out of, I don't want to say necessity, but it's kind of like the team had to do it, right? You were paying Tobias Harris $30 million. You were paying Joel Embiid over $30 million. And they said, we drafted him. This is supposed to be our guy. We got to make sure we pay him in belief that he was going to get better and become, a star, LeBron James-ish. I'm saying ish. I'm not saying LeBron James. I'm saying LeBron James-ish. Similar. I mean, there's been look at MPJ. They paid him all that money. There's no way he was worth that, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
So the difference between Michael Porter Jr. and Ben Simmons is that they did it for Michael Porter Jr. off potential, and Denver is a small market, so they have to take that risk and pay Michael Porter Jr. that money. Now, I agree with what you're saying. I understand he's not worth it. He has done nothing to deserve that money, not even an all-star. Ben Simmons, in Ben Simmons' case, he is an all-star 5 times over. So he is worth that contract in my opinion.
5 times over?
Out of the 5 years he's been in the NBA, he's been an all-star 3 times. He's been all NBA. He's been all defense almost every year. So, yes.
Or 3 times over.
3 times over.
3 times over. Not 5 times over. Come on, don't inflate it. He already has an inflated contract. Don't inflate the numbers. All right? Don't inflate it.
He didn't play his rookie year, to be fair. He's 5 years in the NBA. He only actually played 4, but he's been an all-star 3 times.
3 out of 4. I get
4 years.
75%.
Okay, 3 out of the 4 years. 3 out of the 4 years.
And 1 year he was hurt, so.
1 year, 1 year he was hurt. Listen,
hey, I'm sorry. I'm with Josh on this one though.
Okay.
I think he's well worth the value of the money. He's actually, like, if you consider him a A1, like, he's underpaid. But just off his accolades, I think that's a valued contract for his age, for the length, and for the amount.
Okay.
I really agree.
Okay. Now, anybody that comes into a Knicks uniform, I'm supporting. That's one thing. So, you don't have to worry. Just if a player comes in and I'm not fully for it, I'm supporting that player anyway. I ain't going to start bashing the guy. You know what I mean? But how do you get him? There's the question there. How do you get him? You got to find $33 million, and it's got to be value for another team. It can't be, we're just going to give you Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and a couple of draft picks. It's got to be value because the Philadelphia 76ers believe that they're going to get a top 25 player or they want to get a top 25 player. So how are you going to entice the 76ers or another team in a 3-team trade to let Ben Simmons come to the New York Knicks? And with Philadelphia, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. Yes, they would trade him to the New York Knicks. Most teams would, people always say they're not going to trade within the conference. I think if the right trade comes along, a team's going to trade within their conference or their division. I'm sure it creeps into the back of their mind like, no, we're not going to trade him to this team because we got to play against them. But if the right thing comes along and it's going to help their team out, they're going to make the move. That being said, what do the Knicks have to give up to get Ben Simmons, and how do you make the roster work? Because you can't have Ben Simmons and Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel in that starting lineup together. We did it last year without two guys who can shoot the three, and the offense struggled. I mean, the offense is struggling now, and you got guys that supposedly can shoot the three in the lineup, and the offense is still struggling. But how do you make the move, and then what guys are you putting in place to make sure that the roster is good enough to compete?
Tony, you first, or you want me to go? I got a very easy answer.
I mean, I'll go first, but I'm a reference shoot because you always saying 3-team trade, but I think if you're gonna, you can't just say that. Like we gotta hear the trade proposal to 3 teams and why it makes sense. Because me personally, I think any team directly between the two teams, I don't know if they're gonna go for it. You know what I mean? Like unless it's based off of matching the money and then but draft picks being the value to them, the value point to them. So unless we're going that route, I don't think I could come up with a trade that I'm comfortable with. But I'm very interested to hear your 3-team breakdown and why it makes sense for all 3 teams.
So first and foremost, like we all know, the Knicks can't do this deal straight up without having to give up Julius Randle, right? And I'm of the belief, even though a lot of people are not feeling Julius Randle right now, I believe you go in a positive direction by adding Ben Simmons to come play with Julius Randle, and I think that's absolutely possible. You will need a 3rd team in there. The 3rd team has to be a team willing to shed salary. It has to be a team willing to shed salary. So now you're going to talk about the Pacers now. Maybe the ownership in Portland. Finds that they need to probably sell and get rid of Damian Lillard to try to save that money, right? Robert Covington is another contract that they would want to get rid of. So I'm thinking Portland in there. I think you give us Robert Covington. I think we get Ben Simmons from Philadelphia. I think the Knicks are going to have to give up R.J. Barrett. I am not holding punches on this. There's no player on this roster that is untradeable for me. Absolutely not. I'm giving up R.J. Barrett in this. I'm giving up 3 first-round picks at least. I'm giving up 3 first-round picks. The Knicks have 4 first-round picks within the next 2 years alone, right? Now, obviously, you can't trade back-to-back of your own picks in consecutive years. But I believe because we have 4 within the next 2 years, you can get rid of at least 2 of those in back-to-back years. And then in follow-on years, you can give up, a first-round pick down the line. I would go ahead and do that. Nerlens Noel, obviously, Mitchell Robinson is going to have to be included in that trade because of the money. Absolutely, both of them. I'll have Robert Covington come here to be like a stretch 5.
So who's taking either one of those? They obviously one is going to go to each of the other teams. Right. You're saying, okay.
Right. So I would do that. And I have to, like I said, I have to actually crunch the numbers down, but I think it can absolutely work if you find a 3rd team that is willing to shed salary. So maybe like a Portland, who I just threw out there because they have a lot of heavy contracts in the roster. You have Lillard, you have McCollum, you have Robert Covington. Those are 3. They're 3 big contracts. And then you got a team like the Pacers. The Pacers right now widely reported that they're trying to shed salary. So that's the other 3rd team that you would throw in there. But like I said, there's no player on this roster who I feel like is completely untradeable. I just personally feel like for the Knicks, they have pairing Julius Randle up with Ben Simmons. You obviously have to get rid of Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel to make it work on the floor. But I would absolutely do that deal in a heartbeat, and I think that makes the Knicks better.
Okay, now I slightly disagree with you.
Of course.
I disagree with you. I do feel like if you're gonna get this trade done, you're gonna be moving either RJ or Randle, right? I think you're gonna be moving one of them. Obviously, Randle has a bigger contract right now than RJ does, but I feel like the roster would be better complete if you brought in Ben Simmons to do what Randle is doing right now. Right? They're using Julius Randle, and a lot of fans want the ball out of Julius Randle's hands, for obvious reasons. But he's being used as a point forward. When they played against the Bucks the other night, Derrick Rose had the ball in his hands a lot. But you can bring in Ben Simmons to do exactly what Julius Randle does. And it's maybe done even better, right, than the way that Julius Randle does it, because Ben Simmons is used to doing it, right? He's used to, he's coming to the league averaging 7 assists, but it's been averaging 7 assists or more per game since he's been in the league, right? So he knows what he's doing from that spot. You're still going to have to find a shooting center because he doesn't shoot the ball, right? So, in that aspect, that's something that you got to think about, and how do you deal with that? Or does Tom Thibodeau just say, I'm going to let him do what he does? You know what I mean?
Robert Covington. I didn't mention Robert Covington, by the way.
I know you mentioned Robert Covington. I'm just saying, so I think it would probably be Julius Randle. To me, the roster makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion. If you can get a nice, sweet shooting center, and then you got Ben Simmons playing the point forward spot, and then you got shooters all the way around. You know what I mean? And because he has the experience of being a point forward that has a point guard's mind, you put guys out there that all they need to do is shoot the ball, rebound. So RJ is one of those guys that's used to kind of hanging out in the corner. He can do a little bit of facilitation here and there, right? And you got guys like, who knows what would happen to Fournier in this scenario. You got Alec Burks, who, kind of wants to handle the ball some, but he can shoot it from the outside, and hopefully he can be one of those guys that can, catch and shoot from time to time. And you got Grimes on the bench that can shoot the ball. Will Kevin Knox still be there? I don't know, but maybe Kevin Knox in this situation does end up getting some playing time because he can shoot the ball. I think that's how you would have to create this team. Then everything is kind of built around Ben Simmons and his skill set.
So, Sam, I just want to say quick, and I don't necessarily disagree with you saying completely, but the role that the Knicks have Randle in right now, where he's basically, kind of facilitating, guys are not knocking down shots anyway. So we don't have shot makers on this roster, even with the Ben Simmons. I understand people are talking about Ben Simmons being a way better facilitator than Julius Randle. I am not questioning that at all. I totally understand that part of it. However, we don't have any shot makers on the roster, and I feel like Julius Randle is still one of the best shot makers on this team, particularly if you take the ball out of his hands.
Not from right now. He's not from three.
But I think that's probably because he's handling the ball a lot more, right? So if you have someone like Ben Simmons, who is a better playmaker than Julius Randle, feeding Julius Randle in his spots, giving Julius Randle the ball in his spots instead of Julius Randle being that, I think that makes a difference as well.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hey, first off, salute to the chat, salute to the panel, guys. I was just walking out and everything, and I saw Joe were on, so that's the reason why I got on and everything. My question is, do you think Ben Simmons would? I mean, you talk about, Josh, how they don't knock down shots. Do you think Ben Simmons would have them in a better position to knock down shots?
Not better than what they're doing right now. The Knicks are wild. They have so many wide open.
Yeah, but the thing about the thing about it is, I've seen Ben Simmons operate and get people, better involved than I see of Randle. And I'm not bashing Randle. I'm not bashing Randle at all.
No, it's okay, Kev. You can go ahead and do that. It's fine.
But I'm not, because I try to support him on everything. There's just something with Randle that clicked last year that's not clicking this year. I don't know why. But if you're asking about facilitating, a lot better, I think Ben Simmons would do that.
And
My only
Well,
question,
that's easy, Kev. That's
well,
no question.
well, yeah, but my question is, I think that he would have the players put in a better position to knock down those shots. Then you would see Quickly hitting them. You would
well,
probably see Evan Fournier, hitting them better. You probably see, he would probably look more for RJ to hit those shots more. I think position wise, I think Ben Simmons is a better facilitator than Randle
yeah,
would be.
I think Kev, the guys are in good positions to knock down shots. They're getting wide open shots. There's no doubt about that. We can all see it. I think what Ben Simmons would bring better than Randle is just the rhythm of the ball and its movement.
I agree with that. And so what you just said, Sim, and I totally agree what you just said. That's probably the reason why they will probably be able to knock down shots better.
And it could be.
Knock down shots at all. What you said is very true. It's very true. But my only question, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if Randall would be the guy included though. Excuse me. You made good points as far as like why Ben would fit in his place. Would fit in his place, but wouldn't Philly rather have Randall? I mean, have RJ? Because
I don't think
you already have Tobias, so I mean, either Randall's now being relegated to the bench, you know what I mean, and not being a starter, which may very well be the case.
But I don't think he'd be going to Philly. I think he'd be going to another team.
You're still saying a three team trade?
Yeah, I'm still thinking a 3-team trade. So I think he'd be going someplace else to some other team somewhere, right? And this also allows you to keep more of your bench intact, or to make other moves to bring in a center that can shoot the ball because of Randall's contract. Randall's contract is bigger, obviously, than RJ's. RJ's what, $9 million a year. Randall's contract right now is $21 million, so you've got to match another $11 million, which wouldn't be too hard to do, without giving up a whole bunch of players. So now you're not really gutting your team. You're bringing him in, putting him in the place of Randall, basically, and then a couple other pieces here and there, and your roster is still intact. You know what I mean? So.
Well, let me ask this question, Sim, and Tony and Josh, you can answer this as well. Do you think Tibbs wants to let Randall go just like that? Because
I don't.
The reason why I say that is because here's a guy in Tibbs that said that he wanted to work with Randall, spent amount of time creating plays and whatever, for Randall, and he's just going to give him up like that.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think that he would, but he really doesn't have the control. The front office is the one that has the control. You know what I mean? As far as who's going to make the trades and things like that. I think he likes Randall. I think he likes Randall's work ethic. I don't know what Ben Simmons' work ethic is like. I don't have all of that background history on him and heard from other coaches and things like that. So
1 second, guys.
Would Tom Thibodeau be happy with his work ethic and those type of things? We would find out once he got here. You know what I mean? I'm one that I'm on the record as saying, if I'm moving Randall, I'm moving him for somebody who is significantly better than him. And I guess the question is, if you're moving Randall, is Ben Simmons significantly better than Julius Randle? Like superstar better than Julius Randle. Obviously, he's made all-star teams. We know that. But is he significantly better than Julius Randle? And is it a lateral move if you bring in him in place of Julius Randle? Is it a lateral move? Unless, of course, you're adding other pieces, then,
Right. That's where it gets kind of. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
I think it is a lateral move, but what it does is it broadens the time span in which we have for us to work with younger guys and develop young guys and see what we have in the youth. A lot of people do want to go that direction. Queen Steph, she didn't say either which way, but she's like, make a decision as far as if we going with the young guys or we doing this win now veteran type thing. So a lot of people, wouldn't mind that. And I think if we went that route, what it does is just give us a longer window of which guys are under contract, and we could just really watch them develop and grow into who they are. I think the expectation drops if you swapping Randle out in a trade to get.
I think there's a big misconception that the Knicks are currently not developing their young guys, though. Because everyone's under the assumption that, they either have to choose Randle or choose to develop the young guys. The young guys are still developing right now as we speak. There's a lot of development going on the team. Just because we're not seeing it, hold on, Kevin.
Okay.
Just because we're not seeing these guys play major minutes doesn't mean that there's no development that's happening behind the scenes. All right, you've seen Quentin Grimes come out and have a breakout game. I think there is some development going on, and people are saying that just because Tibbs is favoring playing the veterans a little bit more, that the young guys are not developing. I just disagree with that.
And you don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's a problem, Josh? That some of the, I'm not saying that the young kids should be getting like 30 minutes a game, but like 10 minutes. You don't think like none of our rookies should be getting like at least 10? And when I mean the rookies, I mean more importantly a Grimes or a McBride.
Grimes for sure. I totally agree with that. But McBride, we just have to see. I mean, but that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
Taking Kemba out the rotation completely, right? I thought that was going to open up some time for those guys, but it hasn't. But that doesn't mean that they're not developing, though.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But what the argument? I mean, you're right. Because I don't like that term either. But the argument is they want to see these guys. They want to see them 10, 15 minutes. Some people want Obi to start. That's an argument for Randle. Like, Obi needs to start over Randle. Like, I know you've heard it, and I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying this is what people say. Some people say.
Let me jump in here real quick. I want to do a couple of super chats and get to a phone call. Brian Williford, thank you for the super chat. He said Ben Simmons would be much easier to build. Let me get this up here. Ben Simmons would be much easier to build a team around than both Randle and RJ. Imagine what he could do for Toppin and Grimes' careers moving forward. You could have a point there. He's a point guard without a doubt. You know what I mean? Or has the point guard mindset, a point forward, and he understands how to get those guys to basketball. I do agree with that. Brian Williford again said a 4-team deal. New York gets Miles Turner and Simmons. Philly gets John Wall, RJ, and picks. Houston gets Sabonis and Knox. Indy gets Kemba, Fournier, and Woods. I don't know. I mean, some draft picks would need to go around in there. I don't know if Philly is getting enough. I don't know how much they value John Wall. Right, and how much they, I'm sure they would have some value for RJ Barrett as well. But I don't know. Michael Parker, thank you for the super chat. He said, I've been speaking this trade into existence the entire season. It will cost us Randle, Kevin Knox quickly, and possibly a first round to do it.
See, I don't want to give up a quickly. Yeah, I don't want to give up a quickly at all.
Let me get to this phone call here. Call you live. Tell me your name, where you're from. Call you there.
Salute. 3 capital S's. Shout out to everybody rocking that orange and blue. The greatest people and the loyalest people it is in the world is you people in that chat right now. You people typing. You people sticking with this squad. Shout out to the NBK Nothing But Knicks situation right here with Mr. Ron O'Neal. That's right. I call him the real superfly of the podcast. And I see I got my young man, the young Richard Pryor and the Mac, Mr. Tony Stick 'em again. And I got my youngest uncle in charge over here, Mr. Fulio. And if my man Cornerstone is still there, shout out to all y'all great men, man. Nothing but love and respect. Happy holidays to everybody, man.
Appreciate
my
you,
thing is this right here. I'm just going to get real quick to it, and I ain't going to be long with it. If we're going to make a move, I want to make a move starting on the 15th. Don't be holding me up, waiting to the end of the deadline and all that. We need to make moves now. We are behind schedule. We are behind the read. It's too many teams that got, you know what I'm saying, tiebreakers on it. Make our move and do it right here, right now. But I do want to say to everybody, I want to keep Julius Randle on this team. The office owe it to him. I don't took a pay cut for y'all, and y'all supposed to put the right people around here so they can create and help me out, because I'm not too good at creating for other people. So now I'm bottled up in my game. I needed help. So the office didn't even build this team right at the beginning for this man right here. Everything we went and got was a stink move. You went and got Kemba Walker for what? For a jersey? For what? We gonna buy them jerseys anyway. You should have put Julius in that commercial, not Kemba. And you shouldn't have had Evan over here. We needed gutters players, not people that could just shoot. I need to be able to get all to the basket, shoot the mid-range, shoot the long, and play deep. And Evan don't do none of that, you know what I'm saying? So put this team together quick, fast, and hurry up right now. I'm running out of patience. I'm getting too old to do it all over again. I need fixing right here, right now. Shout out to everybody, man. I love you all, you know what I'm saying? And be prepared for the Knicks. We back on Christmas. I'm getting ready to drop that this week. God bless. Mr. Sim yourself, please give me a call. God bless everybody.
I got you.
We podcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
We podcasting. My man Jay Boogie in the building, man. I appreciate you, man. That leads me to this. I don't think Julius Randle can be traded until February. And somebody put that in the chat as well. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but I don't think he can be traded until 6 months after he signed his contract, because he signed an extension. So if this were to happen and Julius Randle was included, it wouldn't happen until February. All right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen until February. Any player that signed a contract, again, I don't think they can be moved until 6 months after they signed that contract. All right, so obviously that's that's something that you have to take into consideration. You know, when you're talking about
Julius and Fournier, February 3rd.
All right, it's something you got to take into consideration. Yeah, because Fournier, I don't know how everything worked out, but Fournier was a sign and trade. Ended up being a sign and trade. You know, so that
deadline is February 15th, though, right? Deadline is February 15th, I think. That gives
February
us a little bit of
15th.
Oh, okay. So someone, the Fishers said in the chat, Julius and Evan, February 3rd.
Right.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah. February 10th. February 10th is the trade deadline.
It's the trade deadline, but then I guess what you guys were just talking about, they said that you could trade Evan and Julius on February 3rd. That's
a week in between that and the deadline.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's amazing that we're talking about this. I mean, if you would have told me, Tony, Sim, and Josh, you know, when me, Sim, and Tony and everybody, you know, saw them opening night, that we were going to be at this juncture about trading, you know, for trading for Simmons and getting rid of and trading Randle and everything, I would have said you're nuts, because I was not expecting this. I really wasn't.
It happens, man. This happens.
Yeah, but you say it happens, but it's like when you saw what happened. I know last year was last year. I get it. And then you see the moves that we've done. And then you see the performance that we did game one. And then the next performance you see in Orlando. And then after that, you know, we get a few wins and we get a few losses that we weren't expecting. That's what I'm what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Just for our information, a quick look at the New York Knicks salary cap totals as we're moving into this trade season. right now, the Knicks have an active roster cap of $111 million. All right, active roster cap, $111 million. They have $6.4 million in dead cap. That's the money that they owe to Joakim Noah. All right, and unfortunately, that's still on our books for this season. All right, so their total cap is $117 million. All right, now, the NBA salary cap max, said that wrong way, but the wrong inflection, is $112 million. The Knicks total cap is $117 million. The remaining cap is negative $5 million. So they're $5 million over the salary cap max. They're not in the luxury tax though, but they're $5 million over. Yeah, and it really doesn't mean anything because they're not signing players, right? They're making trades, so it doesn't mean much. But just kind of giving you an idea of what their salary cap looks like right now. And if you want the breakdown of what the players are making, and I'll blow this up for you so you can see it a little bit clearer. Julius Randle, $19.8 million, 21-22. Makes 23.7 next year, 25.6 and 23-24, 27 and 24-25, and $29 million in 25-26. Evan Fournier, player option in 25-26. Evan Fournier, $18 million this year, $19 million in 22-23, $19 million in 23-24, with a team option of $20.8 million in 24-25. Derrick Rose, $13.4 this season, 14.5 next season, and a team option of 15.5 in 23-24. Alec Burks makes $9 million this season, $10 million next year, a team option of $10 million in 23-24. Nerlens Noel, $8 million this year, $9 million next year, a team option of $9.6 million in 23-24. Kemba Walker still is on the books with $8.7 this year and $9 million next year. R.J. Barrett. This is basically the last year of his contract, and the Knicks have a team option for next year, but he makes $8.6 million this year. There's a team option of $10.9 next season. Kevin Knox is in the last year of his contract. He makes $5.8. Obi Toppin, $5.1 this year. A team option next year of $5.3. A team option in 23-24 of $6.8. Taj Gibson makes $4.9 this year. Emmanuel Quickly, 2.2 this year. Quentin Grimes, 2.1 this year. Mitchell Robinson, 1.8. Wayne Selden, 1.7. I think that's non-guaranteed. Taj Gibson's, I believe, is non-guaranteed in 22-23. I think it's a non-guaranteed contract of 5.1. Miles McBride makes $900,000 this year, 1.5 next year, with a team option of 20 in 23-24 of 1.8. Right, that's what the Knicks salary cap looks like right now. Obviously, Julius Randle makes the most money on the team. Evan Fournier and then Derrick Rose. And it's funny, Evan Fournier is the second highest paid player on his team, but he's not playing like it. And right now, Julius Randle isn't playing that well either, but Evan Fournier definitely ain't playing like he's the second highest paid player on this team. Real quick before I get out of here, though.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
What amount of money gets you into luxury tax? And am I correct that you can go over the salary cap in a trade? You just can't go over the luxury tax.
Yeah,
in a trade.
I think it's. The Knicks are far from that luxury tax, from that hard cap. That hard cap is like $143 million or something.
All right, so in a trade, knowing that window of how much money you could money difference you can have in a trade, like I think it's like up to like 10%.
Yeah,
you can leave off.
Like you can have a difference.
You can go over the cap in a trade. You just can't go into luxury. Correct.
Well, that's if you're trading for someone who's already under contract.
Right. So actually, the Knicks are in the luxury, I guess, because they're 5 million over, right? But you can't go over the hard cap. You just can't you can't go over that 143 million or whatever it is, whatever the hard cap is. You can't go over that hard cap no matter what. That's where it just stops. So after 112 million, you get into that luxury tax, and then at 140 million or whatever it is, that's a hard cap. You can't go over that no matter what. Obviously, to get to that 143, there's so many things put in place where you either, I don't know, trade into it, I guess. I don't even know if you can trade into it, but how you can sign players over your salary cap when you have certain conditions with a contract. That's how you get to that hard cap number. The Knicks are nowhere near that hard cap number. I wanted to just throw a few names out before I head off because I got a meeting at 5:30, so I got to make sure I get there. It's 5:30 now. Just real quick. I'll
be at that meeting too.
What'd you say?
I said I'll be at that meeting too.
I don't know what for. Dennis Schroeder, the Boston Celtics are maybe interested in moving Dennis Schroeder.
Why?
Any interest there? I guess it has to do with salary cap implications. Any
if
interest
they want
there?
Walker back. If they want Walker back.
That'll be taking on more money. So they wouldn't take Walker. They probably just want some pictures.
Shout out to
Right.
Be Smooth.
Right. So
yeah,
just
absolutely.
real quick. Any interest, Josh? Just a quick yes or no. Any interest?
Absolutely. I wanted him last season.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Kev, interest?
Yeah, much interest.
Okay.
Much interest.
Tony?
Yeah, fits a need as far as defense at the very least, and I'll take his liabilities offensively.
All right. Terrence Ross. Sounds like the Orlando Magic are looking for draft picks for Terrence Ross. Interest?
Sim, what have we been talking about for a year now?
Yeah, I know.
We have been talking. It was between him and Willie Barton. You and I. We've been talking about that.
It'd be nice if they took Evan back, but ain't happening. Josh, any interest there, Josh?
Oh yeah, of course. We just got to find a way to make the money work. Right now we're over, so we got to figure out how we're gonna be able to acquire.
Tony?
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it as well.
Okay. Obviously, Miles Turner. I think everyone is willing to make a move for Miles Turner. I'm definitely
I'm not because Mitchell is our cornerstone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just kidding. That was last year. Never mind. I'm with that too. I'm with you on Miles Turner. Absolutely.
Yeah. And listen, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out about trades. So, we're going to keep you updated, have more of these shows where we just focus on what's happening at the trade deadline, who could be traded, so on and so forth. I believe the Knicks are going to be active, try to get some things done because they're not looking good right now. They're struggling. They're 3 games below 500, could very well be 4 games below 500 after tomorrow night, after they play the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night.
The only thing I'm going to say, and I didn't get a chance to say it, the only thing I'm going to disagree with Josh is when he says that everybody's on the table. I don't want any of our young guys to be on that table. I really don't.
Everybody's on this table. Cornerstone?
I'm just saying.
Come on,
yeah, I'm just saying that. I mean, your RJs, your OBs, your IQs, and the 3 rookies. I don't want them being lost in a trade.
All right. Lewis Wilkinson said, "Gentlemen, I am glad we are discussing this. Randle is not showing the same motor as of last year. Bring Simmons and trade Randle big time." I don't know. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I have to go. I have a meeting that I'm already late for. I'm going to try to come back on again. You're doing the controversy tonight?
No, I'm not doing it tonight. We discovered a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to come back in and do another trade show where we just talk about some trade options, so I can take some phone calls. I didn't get a chance to get to a lot of phone calls. Want to come back in and do another show later on this evening.
Yeah, I'm jumping on at 6:30. So.
Okay, bet. So maybe I'll jump on after you. I might, if I'm able to, I might join you. I don't know. I might not be done with my meeting until about 7, but I might try to join it. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I'm out of here. Leave it in the comments. I want to know what you're talking about and what you're thinking about this entire situation. But join us later on tonight. I'm out.
This is MBK. nothing but
All right,
Knicks.
guys.
When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.